Alright, so enter the I mean, Mantine, the manta ray that really no one talks about. It has a lot of play in Silph, but like, yo, it's really interesting for. Anyways, it's kind of good for Go Battle League. Like, it's been there. History has known to show that Mantine has some use in Go Battle League. However, in the Flying Cup, it is actually pretty dang good because of its typing, water and flying. It does a lot. It has a lot of play. Now, as you see, Mantine here maxes out relatively low, so that means you're gonna spend quite a bit of Dust to Power 1 up to get to 1500. So it's not that bad, but 2108 being the max, you can only imagine how much HP, especially if you have a good one for PvP. So if you played GoFest, you probably caught one of these, and they're a really good ranking. So as far as availability goes, you might already have a Mantine built. If you don't already, Mantine like if yeah, you likely have already had one before. But anyways, I'm just gonna call it Stingray. So water Stingray, so Stingray, so the Ray. Flying Stingray is actually very powerful in the Flying Cup, and it's the #1 lead because of its super versatile moveset, and it can pump out Bubble Beam, and it can bait shields, and Ice Beam just chunks so hard because of the Flying Cup, because you know flying is weak against ice, etc. Now, Stingray is weak against electricity. Nah, really, like if you've played Pokemon for a while, you know electric beats water. And when you add flying to it, guess what happens? You are double weak to electricity. So be very careful of the Mamolgas and them Zapdoses. Other than that, you're also weak to rock, so you kind of have the double whammy where you're weak against Zapdos and Emolga. You're also weak against Aerodactyl. But you'll find out why exactly it's actually really good. Now, as far as resistances go, you resist bug, fighting, steel, water, and ground. Where these are really relevant, not really. Like, yeah, as far as Flying Cup goes, Mantine isn't really useful. These don't really matter at all. Like, yeah, they really don't matter. So so Mantine's biggest weakness as far as Flying Cup goes is that it doesn't resist a lot of things for Flying Cup. You do resist water, but like that's usually you're gonna get Stingray Mirror. So yeah, just keep in mind that weak Electric and Rock are your worst nightmares. It's also kind of pricey, 7,500 for a double move. And like I said, unless you actually played GoFest or if you already had one built, Stingray isn't exactly cheap to build. And like like I said, it has a versatile moveset. Wing attack, you can do wing attack, air release, wing attack, bubble beam. You want bubble though, just because the bubble generates energy, and you want that energy, and bubble is really good against Aerodactyl. Don't use Bullet Seed. Please, for the love of mercy, don't use Bullet Seed. Alright, so here's your matrix. So the matrix for Mantine. I put Aerial Ace in here just for added effect. Yeah, I put the matrix. I don't. I would never recommend you use Aerial Ace, but you know what? You practically need Ice Beam, but you know, just comparisons. Aerial Ace is a bad move. I'm going to show you why, but you want Bubble Beam and Ice Beam. You want double beams. You want to get beamed. Everything's going to get beamed, basically. Even though that's kind of the false beam because okay, I'm gonna stop. But I put the matrix ahead of time, so we're gonna run the 2 shield. I'll run the 2 1s and 0s as usual, but this is why Mantine's such an amazing lead. Behold. So in the lead, you beat things like Altaria, you beat Shadow Arcuno, you beat Gligar, you beat Gyarados, you beat your opposing Mantines. Don't use Aerial Ace. You beat Skarmory. So Skarmory with Air Slash and Skarmory, you beat Skarmory lead. So if someone tries to run Skarm on you, you do beat them. Now, what kind of sucks is you do lose against Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl will just straight rock even if you get the debuff on them. Like, Rockto is just so oppressive. See, you do the Bubble Beam, it goes down, but as you see, Rocktos just proceed to end your life. But the saving grace is, if you pop both of your shields here, or you don't pop both your shields, you'll pop both of. So here's a scenario with Aerodactyl, and this is why Mantine's such a great league. Not only do you beat Skarmory, but if you look at the sandbox here, you'll take both of their shields. You could take both of their shields, and Aerodactyl's only left with 5 HP, with 35 residual energy. So what this means, so instead of me being super scientific, and let me explain to you in a simpler manner, that means this guy boy here won't have a move to throw at you. So you can pop both shields, and you can farm down a little bit. So this isn't a bad scenario. Just because you lose, the sim says you lose. This is a situation where this is really good. Because having your opponent, you having shield advantage, and being able to get that one facet back for farm really matters. So this is something to really look at. So even though you don't technically beat Aerodactyl, it puts you in a really good position. So I already explained this scenario with Aerodactyl. You beat Skarmory, so opposing Skarms do wreck you. I don't have any idea why you have Togekiss with Ancient Power, etc. But as you see here, you beat a lot of great things. Obviously, you're going to lose against Zapdos because you're double weak against Electricity. You'll lose against the Mirror. Well, depending, that's IV dependent right here. And like I said, lose against Electricity. You lose against regular Articuno. And like I said, you don't, even though you lose against Aerodactyl, you get put in a really good position with Aerodactyl. That's a 2-shield. That's why Mantine's such a great league. Not great lead. Great lead. Blech. Great lead. Here's the 1-shield. So assuming that you have to switch out of Mantine, like you run into Emolga in the lead. Now Mantine does have play because Mantine does have play because if you look at it, or if you look at it, you actually beat Aerodactyl. So you'll beat Aerodactyl. You'll straight Ice Beam it to death. I believe you. You Ice Beam it to death. I believe you Ice Beam it to death. You'll beat it in the 1-shield. Oh no, you just straight. You actually. Even less, you just Bubble Beam it to death. You'll literally Bubble Beam to death, and you'll still be left with 19 HP. That's a lot. So you Bubble Beam Aerodactyl to death. You still beat Altaria. This is where you Ice Beam it to death. You beat You lose against Shadow Articuno. The Airlace version actually beats Articuno. Okay, just ignore that. Don't use Airlace. This is expensive. Don't worry about that. You'll still lose against Emolga, of course. But like with the So there is some play with Airlace. Airlace isn't completely useless. But you'll see more Altarias in this league than anything, so I would definitely, you need Ice Beam. Like, if your opponent figures out you don't have Ice Beam, you're done. Like, Altaria and Dragonite will run you over with Dragon Breath. That's why you lose. So, you lose super hard. This is what you die. You die, okay? You just die. You just die. And that dragon has energy and 32 HP left. So, as you see here in the 1-shield, Mantine does very well with Bubble Beam. Some things like you said, Aerodactyl, you just straight Bubble Beam it to death. Same thing with Gligar. You beat Gligar, you beat Gyarados. You even beat Skarmory. I'm assuming with Skarm, you Bubble Beam and then you Ice Beam. So let's take a look at this. Obviously, you're still going to lose against Zapdos and Emolga, so don't worry about those matchups. You want to stay away from those two as much as possible. So yes, you do Ice Beam and then you Bubble Beam. So that's Skarm. So you do have to Ice Beam. So you beat one, you Ice Beam, then Bubble Beam, and then you're up into zeros. So that's with Skarm. So you still beat Skarm. So in all scenarios, you beat Skarm. Well, actually, let's take a look at the zeros. You might not beat Skarm in the zeros. You beat them in the 2s and the 1s. So here's the zeros. In the zeros, you beat Aerodactyl. So you'll beat Aerodactyl. You'll beat Altaria just because you Ice Beam it to death. And Mantine, okay, so you just go Ice Beam and you W. So just go straight for the Ice Beam for Aerodactyl. You beat Altaria. You're not going to beat Articunos. It's okay. You're not going to beat Emolga, of course. Emolga's just going to wreck shop, and so will Zapdos. So don't worry about those two matchups. Like I said, you see Emolga or Zapdos, you get the heck out of there as fast as you can. You'll beat Gligar, you beat Gyarados, you beat Skarmory. Like I said, you'll still beat Skarmory with Bubble Beam and Ice Beam. You literally just Ice Beam to death, and you beat Togekiss. Why? Because of hashtag Ice Beam. Ice Baby. Actually, double Ice Beam, so you just double Ice Beam to death. But that's Mantine in the lead in a nutshell. Mantine is a fantastic lead because Bubble Beam has a lot of play with it. And like I said, even you beat both in the 2-shield, you will beat. The 2-shield, you do beat Skarmory. So you beat both variations of Skarmory. And you lose, like I said, you lose against Aerodactyl, but you take both shields. And you can farm down. You get a little bit of, like, one move of energy. And you have shield advantage. So this isn't as bad as it looks. Alright, so I'm gonna run a training sim. Like I said, here's this training sim pre-pepped. Like I said, in summary, Mantine is very good in the lead, like I showed you. There's a lot of play with it. So we're gonna run not the Halloween Cup, that's the wrong cup, the Flying Cup. Alright, so I put Mantine, Aerodactyl, and I put Zapdos. Don't run Earth Power, run Ancient Power. So do this. This is your order. And then we go. So like I said, here's the perfect scenario to show you how you beat Aerodactyl. Well, you lose against Aerodactyl, but watch. So here's what I'm going to do. Go straight Bubble Beam. This is going to prompt Aerodactyl to shield. So we're going to take both shields. Here's a perfect way to show this scenario. There you go. You take the shield. You'll take the second shield. And look how much these resisted like, rock those just like, well, not resisted, these debuffed rock blows don't chuck a lot, and you also like yeah, you'll also de-threat Aerodactyl. So here's what so as you see here, throw the bubble beam, Aerodactyl will shield just because it doesn't want us to take advantage, and then we're gonna die to I'd say two more rock like I think there were two more rock throws. But like I said, you won't actually you'll have that energy to take. You have no shields. Our opponent has no shields. We can come with Zapdos and farm with these Thunder Shocks. And now because of the oh wait, I have Thunder. Whoops. I don't have Thunderbolt. Okay, that's fine. We could just go straight Thunder. So you don't want Thunder, you want Thunderbolt. I think the reason why I don't know why I have Thunder in here, but it's okay. I forgot to double check their movesets, okay? Always double check your movesets when you're running Sims, but it's okay. Because we have Energy Advantage and we have a shield, we're literally just gonna Thunder. We're gonna yeah, we'll get the Thunder. Double Thunder, the power of Thunder. We have a shield. Like I said, Mantine versus Aerodactyl, there's a pretty sweet play you could do with it. And bam. There you go. Easy peasy. This is literally how fast your Flying Cup matches are going to go. And we never even had to use our own Aerodactyl. You literally just like, Mantine and Zapdos literally dominated that matchup. But best lead, Mantine for sure. Especially if you get Aerodactyl. I'm pretty sure if you get the mirror and you have an opponent that really didn't study or really didn't study anything, there's very likely they will shield both bubble beams. And they won't know what kind of sick play you're actually setting up. But this is that's a Thunder Zapdos. It's what it. Yeah, here I'll run it again with you. I'll run it again for you. Actually, here we'll just run it right. But that was a Zapdos with Thunder. If you went Thunderbolt, in my opinion, I will do is if you haven't seen my Zapdos video, take a look at it. But all right, so here's the correct movesets. Like I said, this is or I forgot to mention this is the summary. But like I said, Mantine is very strong. You saw that sick play with Aerodactyl. We're going to run it again, this time with Thunderbolt. With our last training sim, we ran it with Thunder, but that's alright. So we get a Skarmory lead. That's okay. So what we're going to do here, we're going to Bubble Beam first. I'm going to power up to the Ice Beam. And then we're going to Bubble Beam. Alright, so we don't get the Bubble Beam. We get the switch in to an Articuno. Okay, so I'm just going to Bubble Beam. I'm just going to use my energy. We do get... I actually didn't even blow my energy here. We just switched to Aerodactyl. We just end your life. No, literally, we just switch Aerodactyl end your life. I'll shield this, though. This is probably going to be an Icy Wind. That's fine. We have energy on our Aerodactyl, so we're doing fine. We take out an entire Articuno Shadow. So I probably should probably just kept my energy. There was no point in throwing in that scenario. We'll throw the Rock Slide here, though. Hopefully we bank a shield. And then what I'm going to do actually is I'll let Skarmory farm. So it's gonna farm regardless whether I decide to choose it or not. There you go. We're gonna send in Zapdos right away. I should have waited for my timer. That's fine. Because Zapdos is going to get hit with either a Sky Attack or a Brave Bird. Okay, perfect. We resist this because of the electric typing. So we're gonna gather. Here's Thunderbolt. We're going to go ahead and get to a Thunderbolt. We'll Drill Peck here just to bait that shield. And then we'll go Thunderbolt. The good thing with Zapdos as a switch and a closer, you can do bait. You can bait. I don't theoretically want to shield, but I'm going to shield anyways. Because we want Zapdos as healthy as possible. Okay, we get switch in. It's an Aerodactyl, that's fine. We have Thunderbolt because we managed to bait. This will one-shot this poor Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl goes down. We send in the Mantine. We summon the Ice Beam. And then that's GG's. No, literally, that's all we have to do. You could straight up Bubble Beam too, but we're just going to go for the Ice Beam just to make sure you're dead. But that's GG's. As you see here, Mantine, like Thunderbolt, is very powerful. You want Thunderbolt. You don't need Thunder. Always use Thunderbolt because, yeah. So this isn't a Zapdos highlight, but I'm just saying, like, with Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt's enough. Y'all don't need to go overkill with Thunder. Thunderbolt will do it for you. You don't need to worry about it. As you see, Mantine is a very, very good lead, though. Somewhat tanky, can take some Sky Attacks, and you have a lot of play with Ice Beam and Bubble Beam. You can bait shields, and with Ice Beam, you can nuke. Anyways, that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, Mantine is a pretty sweet lead, so if you do have one built, like I said, there's a lot of opportunities for you to get one during GoFest. Or if you don't have one yet, I'd consider it for the Flying Cup. Anyways, you guys have a great day. I'll see you on the next video, and I will see you again on the next Flying/Halloween/GBL Cup or whichever one we're doing video, and you guys have a wonderful day.